We now turn our attention to golf and the upcoming US PGA Championship being held at the Bethpage Black Course in Farmingdale, New York. It's being held between May the 16th to May the 19th, 2019. It's a 7,400 yard par 71 course. It's a notorious course. It's very tough. Obviously being 7,400 yards and only a par 71, it's going to suit big hitters. We're obviously going to be looking for people with major winning pedigree, people who've performed well in stressful, high-pressure tournaments in the past, because there's no reason to think that they won't continue in that vein if they have done in the past. If we look at the betting, we've got Tiger Woods at 10 to 1. We looked past him for the Masters, and would you believe it, Tiger Woods came through and won the Masters in style. Very impressive. Mentally, he was stronger than his competitors coming down the stretch. We had Tony Finau, one of our picks. We had Xander Schauffele, one of our picks, both in the mix. They ended up placing, but Tiger Woods' mental strength and his composure just proved too much. He saw off Molinari. That was another of our picks. Saw off Finau, saw off Schauffele, and delivered the victory and won the green jacket. And it was just a great exhibition of ball striking and also control, mental control. You know, he watched his playing partners find the water on the 12th. It didn't sway his game. Tiger Woods stayed mentally strong, stayed with his original club selection and put the ball on the green. And, you know, the rest is a history. Just kept it smooth, kept it tidy, kept himself together, and it was just like the old Tiger. So he's the favourite for the US PGA Championship at 10 to 1. I can see where they're coming from. I'm always looking for value on this channel, and for that reason I'm going to look past him at 10 to 1. He's got the form and everything, he's got the credentials, but 10 to 1 is a short price. It's hard to get a good price on Woods now, for obvious reasons. I think it was about 16 to 1 for the Masters, and he came through and did the business. So you can get 10 to 1 on him this week. That's not one I'm going to be going for, but obviously a solid pick based on just picking up another green jacket. We've got Dustin Johnson 11 to 1. Going to look past that on the basis of price. He's a tremendous player. He can win if he wants to. He's got the power. He's former US Open champion, but you know, on the basis of price, I'm going to look past it. Rory Mcilroy 12 to 1. Striking the ball reasonably well. He did mess up in the final round of the Quail Hollow Championship on this Sunday just past. The bookies had him as a favourite for most of the time, but the unheralded Max Homa came through and won his first PGA Tour title. I didn't think McIlroy looked hugely impressive, and I think at 12 to 1, you know, it's either the correct price or it's a little bit short, so I'm going to look past it. Brooks Koepka 14 to 1 is probably the correct price. Wonderful player, multiple major winner. Probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. Hits the ball a country mile. He's got the mental nous under pressure, so he fits the profile we should be looking at, really. I just think his price is probably about right. So for that reason, at my peril, I'm going to look past him, looking in the search for better value. We're going to stick with Justin Thomas. Picked him for the Masters. We're going to stick with him again at 18 to 1. That's the shortest price we're going to go for. He's ranked number 5 in the world. He's a major winner already. It's for similar reasons I said on the Masters video. I just think he's at the right stage in his career to go on and win majors, and I don't want to miss out on him. So we'll take a chance on him at 18 to 1. I think that's probably the correct figure. There might be a sliver of value on it, looking at the other figures in the market, but we're going to go with Justin Thomas at 18 to 1. I would like to say these prices are all based on 10 places, a fifth of the odds. There are bookies already offering you 10 places on the US PGA Championship, so there's no reason to take any less than that. 10 places gives you a good chance to gain a place and gain a return, so that's the basis I'm betting on. So 10 places, a fifth of the odds. So we're starting with Justin Thomas 18 to 1. We're going to take the very next person in the betting, which is Justin Rose at 20 to 1. He's a 2013 US Open champion. He won at Merion, which is a tough course. I think he's got a history of winning on tough courses, so I can't see why he can't win at Bethpage Black, on the black course at Bethpage. He's got the temperament. He played very well at Quail Hollow. I think he came in the top 10 there. Played very solidly. Swing. He was just the same old Justin Rose. You know, keeps it tidy. His swing's got a great rhythm. His feathers don't get ruffled. Doesn't get anxious about a situation. He's a good person to have a bet on when the going gets tough. If he's, you know, in the top sort of 5 or 6 names on the leaderboard on Sunday, on the last day of the US PGA, you expect him to stay strong and see it through. He's done it before in 2013, and I think he can do it again. So I'll take Justin Rose at 20 to 1. Next in the betting, you've got John Rahm, 20 to 1. That's probably the correct price. Very good player, very decent player. Will win a major at some point, but not for me on this occasion. Rickie Fowler is always around 22 to 1, and that's what he is in the US PGA. On this occasion, I'm gonna take a chance on Rickie Fowler. The reason why, I've been watching him play recently, he has a very good game. He hits the ball a long way. Hasn't won a major yet, but he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? He's going to win a major at some point, and in a similar sort of way to Justin Thomas, I don't want to miss out on it. He's a great player to watch. He's very popular. He'd be a popular champion if he won. He's got all the attributes. I think it just needs to come together for him on the final day, hold things together, if he's in the mix. I think 22 to 1, it's about the right price. We'll take it. Going to go with Rickie Fowler at 22 to 1. So moving on, we've got Francesco Molinari. Now he's 22 to 1. We went for him in the Masters. Had a bit of a nightmare on the final day. He'd done everything right for the first 3 rounds. He was leading. He was keeping it in play. He was just looking so solid, as he has done recently. The reigning Open champion. And it just didn't happen for him in the back 9. Put it in the water on the 12th, and, Tiger Woods just held it together and, took the title. But I wouldn't put anyone off betting on him. I'm going to look past him on this occasion, and the reasoning being that Masters experience, I think, will have had an effect on him. It's difficult not to. He would have been, hopefully, could have picked up the green jacket, and it didn't come together for him. He played so well for the first 3 rounds leading up to that. Didn't deserve it, but that's how the cookie crumbles. You've got to stay strong, you've got to stay resolute, and he didn't do that. So Molinari, I'm going to look past him at my peril, because he is a form player, he is a tidy player, but just because of that Master experience, I think that might have an effect on him. So I'm going to leave him for now. Jason Day's 28 to 1. It's a fair figure. He's a former major winner. Played okay at Quail Hollow. Looked pretty good. Wouldn't put anyone off him, but not for me this week. I'm going to stick with Xander Schauffele. He got the place at the Masters. Playing well at the moment. 28 to 1. Young player coming through. Twice a winner already this year. What did he win? I think it was a Tour Championship, was it? No, that was Tiger Woods. The Century Tour of Champions he won. And I think it was the Barclays he won. So 2 wins this year. I'm going to keep the faith with Xander Schauffele. As we go on, we can see Tony Finau is at 35 to 1. That's another one I'll stick with. Did well at the Masters. Always seems to do well in the majors. Last year he placed in all the majors. So, why would we give up on him? We're going to stick with Tony Finau at 35 to 1. We're going to look past Tommy Fleetwood at 34 to 1, even though he's playing well these days. I think he has got to show that he can actually come on and actually win. I think that's a factor for Fleetwood, but I don't put anyone off betting on him. It's not going to be one for me at the moment. Jordan Spieth, 40 to 1. I'm going to look past him. Hall of Fame player, multiple major winner, but just not in the right form at the minute for me. Same with Hideki Matsuyama at 40 to 1, not in the right form. Patrick Reed is 50 to 1, former Masters champion. I was a bit disappointed with him at Quail Hollow this past week. Did well for the first sort of 2 or 3 rounds, and the final round went to pieces. But his game is in reasonable shape. 50 to 1 is a fair figure, but not for me at the moment. Patrick Cantlay did very well in the Masters. 50 to 1, not a bad number, not for me. Matt Kuchar, 50 to 1, it's a good figure. I think it's value. I'll have to think about that one. I'm not going to take him at this stage, but he's someone who hasn't won a major. He's got a lot of experience. I think he could easily pick up a major at some point, so 50 to 1 isn't too bad. I'm not going to go for it at this stage. Neither Adam Scott, who did well at the Masters, former winner of the Masters. But I'm going to look past him on this occasion. Same with Paul Casey, 55 to 1. Bubba Watson, 55 to 1. I'm going to take the next in the betting. Sergio Garcia, 66 to 1. 2017 Masters champion. Hits the ball a long way. Looked in good touch at Quail Hollow. Played very well. Looked solid. I think 66 to 1 is value. I think he could easily have been 50 to 1, so we're going to take Sergio Garcia. Next in the betting, Louis Oosthuizen. I think it's a good price at 66 to 1. Multiple winner of majors. I'm going to look past it, but I think that's good value. Mark Leishman, we're going to stick him in there because we always do on this channel. We've never not bet on him, Leishman. I think he's going to come good at some stage. Always good for a place, always reliable. So we're going to go with Mark Leishman at 66 to 1. Looking at some other prices in the market, you can see Phil Mickelson is 66 to 1. I think that's a decent price. Webb Simpson is 75 to 1. I think that's a decent price. So there's some good prices out there, but we can't go for everyone. So we're going to look for some value now, some bigger numbers. I'm going to take Ian Poulter at 100 to 1. seasoned Ryder Cup player, in much better form recently. He's been looking good. I think 100 to 1 is big. I think he could easily have been, he could have been 66 to 1 even. It wouldn't have been ridiculous, or 70 to 1. So 100 to 1, I think that's value. I'm going to take that each way. And now I'm going to have two Hail Mary selections, looking for some big numbers. We've got Ryan Moore at 150 to 1. He's always a good person to throw in there. He's always performed well in majors. He's been around a long time. He's shown he has major, certainly has the pedigree to earn places in majors, but he's been around a long time. He's always underrated. He's number 75 in the world at the moment. He's always hovering around that sort of level, but when the big difficult courses come along and the majors come along, he always seems to turn up. He's an unheralded name. Undeservedly, if you actually look at his results. So 150 to 1, some very small stakes each way. I'll be looking towards him, and I'll also look at the 2009 US Open champion Lucas Glover, who's been in pretty reliable, decent form of late. He's out at 150 to 1. He's won on this course before. It is going back 10 years, but he has won on this course before. He'll have good feelings coming back to this track, having won that US Open. I think he's striking the ball reasonably well at the minute, and 150 to 1 is a little bit too big. He could easily have been 100 to 1, so I can see some value there. We're going to go with Lucas Glover, small stakes. So just to, cover our selections, we've got Justin Thomas 18 to 1, Rickie Fowler 22 to 1, Justin Thomas 20 to 1, Xander Schauffele 28 to 1, Finau 35 to 1, Sergio Garcia 66 to 1, Ian Poulter 100 to 1, Leishman 66 to 1. And we've got Hail Mary selections, Lucas Glover 150 to 1 and Ryan Moore 150 to 1. I've missed out one as well, which I've just seen, and it's an important pick. Bryson DeChambeau is there at 33 to 1. He's been in very good form this year. He's a young talent. He's got the ability, he's got the temperament. Plays quite slowly. I think he gets a bit of stick for that, but he's very talented. But quite an unorthodox method, but he sticks to his own game. He knows how he wants to play. And he's going to win a major at some point. I do believe that. And I think 33 to 1, I think they've pushed him up a little bit. I remember him being priced a little bit shorter for the Masters. So I think that's where the value have come from. I think he should be at around 28 to 1. DeChambeau, he's out at 33. I think that's a good figure. I think it's a tough course. He's very deliberate. He'll take his time and work his way around the course with the correct course management and strategy. So I think he's definitely worth taking as well. Bryson DeChambeau, 33 to 1. Please give in the comments any players you think has a chance and any reasons why. It's going to be a great tournament coming up on May the 16th. They've brought it forward. It used to be the last major of the year. It's now the second. So that'll be placed just before the Open. It'll come up in July. It's going to be superb. It's a tough course. The players are going to be tested. I think we've made some good picks there. Happy to hear any picks you have. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.